Have you wondered what it's like to live in Zaragoza, Spain? Stay to the end and find out. Today we have our special guests, Chad and Jorge Pitts. I'll tell you a little bit about both of these gentlemen. Chad and Jorge are U.S. Army veterans who have been together for nearly 5 years and are raising their 2-year-old son. Jorge was born and raised in Puerto Rico and relocated to the mainland United States after joining the Army, while Chad is originally from Arizona and has lived throughout the U.S. They met while stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, where they shared military service, became the foundation of their life together. For years, they discussed the idea of living abroad or spending extended time traveling internationally. In 2024, shifting political conditions in the U.S., combined with growing concerns about gun violence and school safety as parents, prompted them to take action. They began researching destinations worldwide, prioritizing LGBTQ plus safety, cost and living, family-oriented culture, and a straightforward visa process. After extensive research, they chose Spain, even though they have never visited before, which we'll get into a little bit later. They sold their home, downsized to 4 suitcases, and left the U.S. behind. After a brief stay in Madrid, they arrived in Zaragoza in February 2025, ready to begin a new chapter focused on stability, safety, and a better future for their family. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the Where the Gays Retire podcast. I'm so happy that you're here today and sharing your experiences.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. So let's start with your story. You told us a little bit where you're originally from and what led you to the path to Spain. Now, why Zaragoza and not Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, Alicante, Malaga? What tipped the scales? You mentioned that you've never been to Spain before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I love to hear that story too. So how did you come to Zaragoza?
Well, I actually just looked at a map. I pulled up Google Maps and I looked at all of the cities that had bold letters because I was like, well, they must be large cities. And I started an Excel spreadsheet and diving in and doing the research on every offering, whether it was healthcare, cost of living. I got on Idealista, was looking at the cost of housing. And we just figured out that Zaragoza, the population size here, it's large, but it's not a tourist heavy destination. So it's not like inflated in size. Whereas Barcelona and Madrid, by population in the census, it's not too much bigger than Zaragoza, but it feels a lot bigger because you have millions of tourists visiting every single year. So this was just much quieter. It's much more Spanish, authentic vibe. At least that's what we had read online. And then when we got here, we found that to be very true. And as we've traveled throughout Spain now over the last year, we absolutely love Zaragoza and we're so glad that we picked it. And every time we travel somewhere, we're like, it's nice, but we want to go back home.
Oh, that's incredible. That's great. Do you know what the population is approximately of Zaragoza?
You looked that up recently. Do you remember what it is? No. It's the 4th largest city in Spain. I know that.
Okay. And I know Valencia is the 3rd. So If it's right behind Valencia, it's quite a big city. It's not a small city by no means. Okay. So did you visit first or take the leap and move sight unseen?
Sight unseen.
That's pretty difficult for people to do. So you really have to be research. I'm sure you research the hell out of everything. From probably walkability, transportation, healthcare, everything. Can you walk to the doctor?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
And with all the research that you did, are you finding any surprises right now, or it's pretty much what you thought it would be?
It's really what I thought it would be. There's not a ton of research on Zaragoza. When you really start to kind of figure it out, I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos, but there's not a lot of tourism. So you don't have tourists walking around putting up videos to look at. So there really wasn't a whole lot. And we actually didn't find the local social media news group until after we had arrived, which I was surprised. I thought I would have found that, but there's a great local social media that
Influencer type
influencer,
guy,
yeah,
yeah.
that lives here and
And
puts
posts everything,
Mhm.
every event that's going on, any little
Wow.
thing.
That
Yeah, but
helps.
it does, but we didn't find it before, which I did so much research and could not find it. I think a lot of it too is I'm doing research in English, and here it's very much Spanish dominant population. So that probably was part of it. But as far as the actual walkability, the transportation aspect, no surprises. It's all been exactly what we found.
Now, how long have you been in Zaragoza? Did you say since February?
Since
Yes.
February, yeah. So coming up on a year.
Coming up on a year. And does it feel like home?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like home surprisingly quickly. I don't know if that's because maybe his Puerto Rican background and me being in Puerto Rico often because of his family, and there's a lot of cultural overlap between Spain and Puerto Rico. But we did a trip, an international trip, and visited his sister who lives in Italy. And about halfway through the trip, we were like, we love Italy. We had a great time in Italy, but we're ready to be home. Like we feel like we want to be back into
We're
our
missing something.
yeah.
And in my perspective, I wasn't a big fan of Italy. The whole time, I'm like, I can't wait to go back to Zaragoza. I can't wait to go back to Spain.
He's also a
That's
homebody.
good.
Right.
I mean, that's great. That is great. And you guys are lucky because Jorge knows Spanish fluently.
Mhm.
And that makes things really easy or easier.
Easier.
Yeah.
Sometimes
For-
I gotta ask, can you repeat that again? ¿Lo puedes repetir? No te entendí. 'Cause
Because the dialect is different than Spanish in Puerto Rico, from Puerto Rico,
than Latin
from
American Spanish in
Latin
general.
American, yeah.
Quite a few different words. We have run into that where he'll say something and they'll be like, "Okay," like,
Or they'll say something and I'm like, that was very vulgar. But it's normal here.
it's normal.
It's normal. I would have
Yeah.
gotten slaps if I would have said that.
Right, right. Now, what is Zaragoza in the Valencian community? What community is it in? Do you know?
Aragon. So Zaragoza
Aragon,
is
right.
a province, and then we're in the capital city of Zaragoza, but then it's in the community of Aragon.
Okay, so there's not like in Valencia, they have different dialects and different languages actually. So
No.
you're just
No, Aragon is
Castilian Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Tell me what surprised you in the first weeks that you were there the most?
I would say just walking along history in a way. I mean, Zaragoza has a ton of history. It was named after Caesar Augustus because it was founded by the Romans. So we have Roman ruins just dabbled all over the city that you just walk by, walk through. And for me, being a big fan of history, I thought that was just amazing. A bunch of pinch me moments. The Pilar is just, it's unlike any cathedral I've ever seen. It is just absolutely massive. It has a lot of historical context. There's a rock, and I'm not religious, so I would probably get this all wrong. But from my understanding, the rock that Mary appeared to and said, build the first church or something in Spain, is in that cathedral, and the rock is there and preserved. And so
Wow.
the altar in there is like what, the eighth century, I think, altar
I
or
think so,
something.
yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's
so
just
incredible.
insane. Yeah. So I had a lot of pinch me moments the first few times we were here, but I don't know what you were surprised by.
I was mostly surprised by the walkability. Coming from Fayetteville, North Carolina, probably the least walkable city in the whole United States.
Yeah.
Just being able to get to point A to point B, not needing a car, and then walking by and be like, I'm gonna grab a baguette and then just eat on the way because why not? And public transportation, again, there's nothing comparable to that in the U.S. to just getting on a
Oh, the
bus.
buses and the trains especially.
Yes.
And so clean. Like it's
Yeah.
just impeccably clean.
It's so refreshing that you don't need a car. I mean, there are many people with cars, and there's people with motorcycles and bikes and stuff like that riding around. But it's so refreshing that you can just walk anywhere. You can walk everywhere. So
Yeah.
love it. If you have to describe Zaragoza's vibe in a sentence or two, how would you put it?
I would say that it's a very authentic Spanish vibe. Like siesta is very like you will have siesta time whether you like it or not. Everything does close for siesta still here.
Jorge does.
Yes.
Jorge does as well. Is
I
takes
have
siesta
I have my
every
own
day.
siesta time. I don't follow their schedule here. I have my own siesta.
But it's very much still authentic Spanish feel in the sense of culturally and even the food.
Yep.
It's just very close knit community. Like we can't go to the store without running into someone on the sidewalk that wants to chat to us that we've met in passing or friends of ours. The whole community is set up in a vibe that it's about family and it's about friends. So you're gonna have a 3 hour lunch or I mean, geez, you have like 6 hours. He goes to coffee houses for like 6 hours with people and
Not
just
even.
he will sit there forever and just drink coffee with people because
And
that's the vibe. Like it's just all about community here.
I'm with you, Jorge.
it's nice that
It's chill.
yeah, and it's just a time to unwind and talk. Like I let them talk about their problems or whatever from work. I don't work, so I just listen. I'm a listening ear, and then I give them my opinion, and then we just talk and talk and talk, and then I'm like, my husband's gonna kill me. I've been gone for so long.
I've been here for 6 hours. That is so cool. It's important to be part of the community. Now, would you say the people that you talk to in coffee shops are locals, Spaniards, or are they expats?
Local.
Yeah.
It's
There's-
very few like
Yeah.
expats we've met.
There's definitely some here,
Yeah.
but as far as, I mean, we have some friends who are also expats that ironically arrived the exact same time we did. So that was great. We have like another couple that arrived basically with us. So they're going through renewal with us and all the processes with us. So it's nice to have them. But most of our friends have become locals now because there's just not a large community of expats. And then also our son goes to school. So we've met a lot of parents and things through his school.
And it's not easy to make friends with locals because the culture in Spain is that many of the locals just hang out with their family. They're very family oriented, or they've had friends from way back in school that
High
they
school.
keep close knit. So it's more difficult for someone outside or from the US coming inside, but Jorge has the advantage because he knows Spanish.
And I will tell you, our neighbors from upstairs, Raul and Lucia, they did speak to me about this when we invited them from Preston / my birthday this year. And they were like, are you sure we can come over to your house, like to your apartment? I'm like, yeah, why not? And they're like, because we don't do that here. Like we meet out somewhere in public or something. And I'm like, well, we're not having a birthday party out somewhere with a 2-year-old. And another thing they did tell me was like it's very different. It depends what region of Spain you're making friends in. Like some people
Yes.
are closed up at first, and it's the opposite way. Like some people will be very opening, but once you try to get to know them, they close up. Like no, like this is more like
Personally.
I don't really want to be your friend type
Right.
vibe. Like here, it's like they're very private at first, but once you get to know them, they'll open up and they'll welcome you in, and it's just very warm and it's just lovely.
I love it.
I would say it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be because I heard the same thing. Like Spaniards tend to be very close, and we have some friends who have told us the same thing who are from here that are surprised that we've made as many friends as we've made. And I'm like, maybe they're just being nice to my face, but I mean, everyone has been so kind to me, even with my poor Spanish ability. I mean, we kind of go out of our way to be the people that help other people. So in our building, we are the youngest in our building for sure. So we always make sure that any of the elderly residents, like we help them carry their groceries up the stairs or help them get in and out of the doors in passing. So because of that, now they know us as, the nice gay guys downstairs.
The sweet gay.
Yeah, the nice sweet gay guys.
With the kid.
Yeah. So that's gone a long way, I think, is just being the people that help and not the expat invaders that want to change the Spanish culture. Like,
of course, yeah. You're trying your best to blend into their culture, which is really important. So, and I know, Chad, even not knowing the language, if you attempt or try, they're so, they love it.
Oh,
You know, they would say, "Oh, let me try English," and then you go back and forth. And yeah, at least you know when you attempt, they really love that. So
yeah,
excellent.
the attempt makes a huge difference. If you're attempting to learn, they love that.
So, what do you think Zaragoza is not for? Is it like not for your typical US expat, or is it for an expat, or how would you say, who would you say it's not for?
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
it's not for the people who just like nonstop, like
Want to go
Club
to
hopping,
clubs?
club
hopping,
hopping,
because the clubs here close at like 2 a.m.
yeah,
or 1 a.m.
which is very un-Spanish. Like most of like
Right.
Madrid and Barcelona, they'll be open until
So
5
like
a.m.
5, 6 in the morning.
Here, it's much more conservative in that aspect. So I think if you're the type of person that wants nonstop party life,
Yep.
or you're the type of person where you're going to need to heavily rely on your own customs, your own cultures, you want that American
The expat.
influence. Yeah, if you really want that, that's not here. Here is very much about like you're going to assimilate to the Spanish culture,
Or you're
or
you're
you're
gonna go back to your
yeah, or you're going to go
country.
back. It's not they're not going to bend for you because it does have a lot of that conservative undertone here.
And you knew that when you did your research, you
Mhm.
knew that going in that it wasn't, you know, well, you have a 2-year-old, and so you want to be in a safe place where, you know, the where you're welcomed and kind of assimilate to their culture as well. So
Exactly.
that's really, really important. Excellent. So tell us, tell our audience what the weather and the climate is like. Do you have 4 seasons? Where, geographically speaking, kind of like describe Zaragoza's location.
So we are kind of in a valley, if that makes sense, but it's a very large valley. We're about an hour and a half from the Pyrenees to the entryway, and then about 2 hours from Ordesa, which is an absolutely beautiful mountain national park here in Spain. And then about an hour by train from Barcelona, an hour by train from Madrid, and then 2 hours to Bilbao. So we are very much landlocked, centered in Spain.
And like 2 hours, 10 minutes to the French border.
Yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes to the French border. So very much landlocked. There's no beach near here. But as far as the climate, it is windy all the time.
It's so what I've spoken with people here, they say it's extreme. It's extreme in the summer and it's extreme in the winter.
And I say that's relative to where you've lived before this. Because to me, I was like, this is not extreme. But to a Spaniard, this is extreme because they get temperatures from 95 to 105, 110 in the summer. And then in the winter, it's in the 30s to mid 50s. So for them, that is extreme. For me, I'm like, this is,
That's not counting the wind.
yeah, no, that's not counting the wind. But for me, I'm like, this is not extreme. Like I've lived in North Dakota,
And
negative 50
Arizona.
is extreme. I've lived in Arizona where it's 120. Like this is perfect for me. But the wind that amplifies everything. I will say, like even today, it was like what
Like
30?
it would be well, I'm trying to learn Celsius here. But this morning it was like 0 degrees Celsius. That's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But then it said it feels like -8. So that's like 24, I
Yeah,
think. 20
24
or 20.
degrees.
I think that's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm like, oh, I'm not
That's
going
chilly.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wind makes a huge difference. In the summer, it's actually kind of nice because it's moving
cools
that
off.
hot air through. But in the winter, it is bone chilling at times. And we don't get a lot of rain. So it's all dry heat, dry cold, which I think is better.
Yes.
I mean, our family from Puerto Rico, they come over here in the summer and they think it's a retreat compared to Puerto Rico.
Right, because it's so humid there. Very, very good. So you get 4 seasons. Is that right?
Yes, I would say
Okay.
we do. Yeah. We don't get snow though.
I mean, it did dust.
It did dust, yeah.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah, we got a dusting, which apparently is like never happens here. But we did get a little bit. It didn't stick, but snow is not a typical thing here.
But we can drive an hour away and there'll be snow.
Have you noticed any climate change impact? Heat waves, droughts, flooding? Do you get flooding that you've
So
noticed?
Zaragoza as a province gets flooding. There was actually some really bad flooding in the province
In the
this last
spring,
year in
yeah.
the spring. But the city of Zaragoza doesn't normally get flooding. I don't think we've lived here long enough to really gauge climate impact, but the locals we've talked to,
So, like all the time, like my friends would be like, "Oh, it's supposed to get cold in October, like it'll be bone chilling." And then the Fiestas del Pilar, which is like a huge festival here in Zaragoza, it was hot, and I'm like, "I thought y'all said it would be cold." I pulled out my winter clothes, and they're like, "This is not how it's supposed to be. It's just been a weird year." And I'm like, "Y'all have been saying that all year."
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It got extremely hot in August when it was supposed to be June.
Yeah.
It rained a lot in April when normally it doesn't rain in April here that much. And then it got cold in like mid-November.
Yeah. But for us, it was our first year
Yeah.
here. So I'm like,
It was
right. So
nice.
you didn't,
it's
you're
normal.
right.
I don't know. Locals say it's not, but
Gotcha. Is the terrain like when you're walking, is it hilly, flat, cobblestone, regular street?
it's flat. It's flat, but the sidewalks, the sidewalks are like all of Spain, where you have a mix of cobblestone, old and new. So sometimes with a stroller, that can be fun, or your little grocery cart
Or
buggy,
you're
because
bouncing?
yeah, you're bouncing all over the place. But yeah, it's not hilly. I mean,
No, there's like, I mean, a little incline right
Yeah.
there. I know you don't know where I'm pointing at, but it's like going towards the tram. It's like a little
Okay.
hill.
but
And
that's
about
the
it.
extent. It's
No.
very walkable. Like if you had any disability
Yeah.
issues or anything like that with walking, like you're not trekking.
Unless you have a wheelchair cart like our upstairs neighbor, Pilar, she is zooming on that little cart.
Do you
Yeah.
guys, you live in an apartment building, right?
We do,
Yes.
yeah.
Is there an elevator?
There
Yes.
is, yes. There is
Okay.
actually a normal, well, size elevator to an extent. It can actually fit multiple people,
yeah, it's
not
like
just a singular person.
It can fit the stroller and possibly 3 people or
Yeah,
2.
which is huge for Spanish standard elevators.
Oh yeah, I've been in a few elevators in Airbnbs.
Yeah, they're very small here,
Mhm.
typically.
And there is an extra
Extremely.
handicap for wheelchairs and stuff too, elevator
Yeah.
that goes up to where the normal elevator is.
Tell us about a little bit about cost of living. So it's a subject that everybody is concerned with, especially
Mm.
here in the US these days. What does renting, you do rent now, right?
Yes, we rent now.
So what's a 1 bedroom in city center compared to a 2 bedroom approximate cost in city center in
So city
Zaragoza?
center, it depends on, there's 2 city centers here. So we have the city center historic district, which is going to be considerably higher because that is the tourist district. We don't
Right.
get a lot of tourism, but that is where that tourism is. So there's a lot of Airbnbs in that area, which have jacked up the prices, just like Barcelona and Madrid. So that's probably 900 to 1200 euros a month. But if you want city center like where we are, which is more of the local city center where all the shops and restaurants are, it's about 700 to 1000 euros a month for a 1 bedroom. So it's pricey by Spanish standards, but not like Madrid or Barcelona or anything like that. Valencia, yeah, it's considerably less expensive.
It's very doable by US standards.
Oh
Yes.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Certainly is. So yeah, okay. 2 city centers. It's sort of like some other cities too. There's Centro Histórico,
Mhm.
which is the historical, yeah, and the regular city center. So 2 bedroom. Okay, so we reviewed that.
2 bedroom, yeah, 2 bedroom would be a little more. A 2 bedroom, we were looking at probably 900 to 1200 euros. It's not a lot more, but it is a little bit more. We've noticed that the prices between 1 and 2 bedrooms seem to not be too different here, but also the second bedroom, and on many cases, is what I would say is a closet.
Mhm.
So it's not really going to fit much. And then the price really starts to branch off once you get into your 3 and 4 bedrooms.
An extra
And how many
bathroom.
bedrooms do you gentlemen have?
We have 5, which was
5.
it was not the plan. Yeah, renting here can be very difficult because you're battling with the Spanish work contract priority. So you kind of have to go above that Spanish work contract price, which is between the 700 and really 1300 euros. It just one Spanish work contract person applies for that apartment, like your application just is thrown to the wind. Yeah. So we went
Interesting.
above and
And
beyond.
it's kind of the way it should be. Spaniards should come first.
Yep.
So how much, may I ask, do you pay for 5 bedroom suite apartment in center Zaragoza?
So ours is pricey again by Spanish standards. So we pay 2,100 euros a month. We have 5 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's about 2,600 square feet. And we are in what is like the kind of old money area of Zaragoza. So like my parents compare it to being in San Diego, in city center San Diego. He compares it to being like the nice area of Old San Juan.
Not Old San Juan. Like just San Juan in general, like where the hotels are, the beachfront properties. Like, yes, it's like old money.
Yeah. So, and we love our apartment. It was brand new. It was on the market for over a year when we got it. So that's the difference between trying to get in at Spanish market price with the locals versus going, as soon as you go above 1,400 euros, all of a sudden the apartments are sitting vacant for
like
very
years.
Yeah. Because the Spanish workers can't afford them. That also means you're getting a massive place though.
Yeah.
Who does the cleaning?
Both of us. Yeah.
Mostly him.
Mostly me, I guess. Yeah, we both do it.
I take care of the child in the mornings and all that stuff.
Luckily, we don't have to deal with building maintenance or anything like that. Like that's all included in the rent. So it's nice to just be like, it's just our apartment we have to deal with and not anything else. Like in the US, having a house, you know, you got your yard, you've got whatever else. And this
you have a pool and that's another thing you tack on.
Yeah, this is like, you could just pack up and leave and go on vacation somewhere if you wanted to.
That's exactly what we do. We don't have to worry about anything.
So do you have any idea about purchase price for like a 2-bedroom apartment?
It's pricey. I've been looking on Idealista. I keep track on all that because we would like to buy something here eventually. If you're going more outside the city center, it's about 1,500 euros per square meter. If you're where we are, it's anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 per square meter. I mean, this apartment that we're in right now, if we were to buy it, we're probably looking at close to $1 million. So it's very pricey to buy here and not so pricey to rent, which is, it's very interesting. It's backwards to me from what I'm used to. But most people here rent. There's not a lot of people that own their apartment.
I hear you. Yeah, and that's in many cities, it's the same way. Although I do know a few people who went against the grain and just, got there and bought. So
I would have loved to have been that person, but I have not much money sitting in the bank account.
I hear you. What about utilities? What does it cost for electricity, internet, heating, cooling?
So this blew our mind. We are on a plan where it averages your consumption throughout the year because obviously here with as hot as it gets, you're going to run the AC in the summer. Do not rent an apartment without AC. Do not do that. You will die. There surprisingly are some, and I don't know how people do it, but we pay 90 euros a month. It's just capped at 90 euros for our electricity throughout the year, no matter what our consumption is, because it averages out. In the winter, we don't use hardly any electricity because we're not running our AC unit. And then our heat, if you're in a building like we are, where it's community and we don't pay the HOA, obviously that's part of our rent, but there is an HOA that actually pays the heat for the building in the winter. So we don't have additional out-of-pocket heating costs. We have radiators. We also do have central heat that we can turn on. If we turn that on, we would be obviously paying part of that electricity. But the radiators work great. I love that I can control them by individual room because there's rooms we don't use. So why am I going to heat it?
Are they like the 50s and 60s? I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. So they had radiators back then with like the knob that you would turn on and turn off, and steam heat would like fill the radiator.
Exactly. Yes. Yep. That's exactly what they're like.
So our apartment has like half of them are modern, and those really don't work that well.
Yeah, the old ones are
the old ones
better.
Like they get hot so quick.
Yeah. I used to I remember as a kid, I used to burn my hand if I like put my hand near it.
They've been fun trying to watch a toddler around now that it's winter and we're starting to run him. I'm like, oh, don't touch the radiator as he's like running around. But yeah, it's something to get used to. Yep. And then as far as our water, we pay 30 euros every 3 months. So 10 euros.
Oh, it's nothing.
Which is
it's nothing. You can buy a case of water for more than that.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. But all right. Internet or phone. How much is that?
35 euros. And I think we have the
fiber, something like that.
We have like the max package because he's a gamer and I'm always on the web and toddler watching TV. So we want to be able to run multiple things at one time. Yeah. And we have 0 issues. So that's 35 euros a month. And then our phones are 10 euros a month, each
Or
phone.
prepaid.
We do a prepaid through Vodafone. And that is like a ridiculous amount of data that we never, I think we have like over 200 gigs of data sitting in like a bank account because it rolls.
He doesn't use it. I do.
Yeah.
You do. At
When
the
I
coffee
do
shop.
at the gym, I put YouTube or I don't know. If I'm waiting somewhere, I'll just watch TikToks or
Yeah.
YouTube or
But you've
scroll
never
Facebook.
gone over what's included.
No.
Yeah.
I always use like what's free, like the 3 gigs.
Yeah.
Now you'll have to watch our TikTok.
Yeah.
That we'll do. So, wow, that's incredible. $30 for internet and $10 each for phone service. That's crazy. $30 for internet right now. I mean, when we were in Phoenix, I was paying $120, and now it's kind of included in our overall rent, but it's up there. And phone is so much. Phone for 2 lines of T-Mobile is $80 a month.
Yeah, it's pricey. And here, I think the biggest cost shock we've had was recently. We did buy a car because we wanted to be able to go out to smaller little towns and get up to the ski resort and our insurance. I mean, in the US, we paid for 6 months, I think it was like $2,300 for insurance. It was outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it was because he's young, but still, it was outrageous. I got the quote for our vehicle, which was complete full coverage with
for a full year
with a 200 euro deductible, and it was 493 euros.
That's crazy.
And that's been the biggest cost shock to me. But also, we don't have accidents here like we do in the US. Like, it's rare when you see one.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it was difficult to find housing when you moved?
Yes and no. It was difficult when we first started in that income section of 700 to 1,300 euros because the Spanish workers, they're going to get priority, which is rightfully so. I have no issue with that, but that made it very difficult. But then as soon as we were like, you know what, we'll bite the bullet. We'll just go ahead and up the budget. We can do it.
We wanted to stick to like the more Spanish normal life.
Yeah, we were like, we don't want to bring American capitalism over here. We don't need bigger is better. We wanted to
downsize.
Yeah, we really just wanted a 3-bedroom. So we had a guest room for his mom, and then room for our son and for us. But it just in that budget, it was nearly impossible because we were constantly being beat out by other people.
Right.
We ended up with this much larger place. But once we did that, this was sitting vacant for over a year. So we had negotiating power to get into it. It stopped the issues with us not having a Spanish work contract. It stopped the issue with our income being in dollars and not euros, because that was a problem we were having. They didn't want to do the extra work on the conversion because why should they when they have 50 other applicants that they don't need to do that work with?
Exactly. Gotcha. All right. Sounds great. Cost of living is quite good as compared to the US and other places around the world. Let's talk a little bit about, we touched on walkability and transportation. Let's get a little bit into that. Can someone live car-free in Zaragoza?
Most do. Very few people have cars here. The majority just walk everywhere. We have a great public transport system. We have buses that go everywhere out throughout the city, including to the outlying neighborhoods. We have the tram via that you can literally take across the river into the other side of Zaragoza, all the way out to Magallanes.
It goes to the other 2 little, I don't want to say towns, but like the other burbs, let's say, of Zaragoza. Valdespartera and I don't remember the other name, but yes, it goes all the way around and then it loops back and it comes back to the city center.
Very convenient. Hop on, hop off.
And then that's the tram. Can you take a train to other cities? Like, can you pick up a high-speed bullet train in Zaragoza to go to Valencia or Madrid?
That was one of the reasons we chose it. So the Zaragoza Delicia station is on the rail line for all rails that go between Madrid and Barcelona. So they always stop in Zaragoza. So being able to pick up a high-speed train in either direction, really every 30 minutes, basically, from the train station, you can do it. So we can easily get to 2 different international airports for traveling, mostly easily. My issue with the international airports is once you get to Madrid and Barcelona, they're not near the train station.
You guys take a taxi, Uber.
Yes, that's what we had to do.
Yeah, but getting to the actual town or to the city, It's very easy. And we do have the Cercanías here as well. So you can get out to more of the smaller towns. Like there's a train that goes up to the mountains to Canfranc. And that's not too far. I think it's like an hour, 2 hour train up there. So there's definitely a lot of regional trains here that get into
And they're
the
cheap too.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really cheap.
As long as you book them in advance. We've made that mistake a few times.
Think
where-
of it also
Yeah.
like a plane ticket.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the high speed trains, that's the way we traveled throughout Spain. And
Mhm.
it was really worth it. I was told by one of my friends, you know what, you should try to purchase first class if you can, because the difference is not really that much. And you get your meals and you get this wide space for your legs. It's really comfortable traveling.
The trains are amazing. Again, clean, reliable. I mean, we had some friends that something happened with their train. It was the first time we'd ever had not even a negative experience, but just like an unreliable train where for some reason the train didn't come into the station.
It was delayed and they had their flight out of Madrid.
Yep. And Irio was the line. They rerouted a train. They were the only two passengers. They rerouted a train to come and get them in Zaragoza because they were going to miss their flight. Like
it was supposed to go to Barcelona straight to Madrid, and they made it stop in Zaragoza
just to get them.
Yep.
So I mean, the customer service, as far as like Spanish public transportation goes, it is really good. Like they actually care about people because public transport is for the people. So it's not this big government capitalistic, got to make their money. Like it's for the people. So even though it was kind of like a negative experience in the fact that the train was delayed, they're almost always reliable. This was like the one time. It still turned into like this amazing experience for our friends because they couldn't believe, coming from the US, that a company would do this, that they would reroute a train to get them.
For two people.
For two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unheard of. So, but train travel in Spain is great. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and you could walk from your house if you wanted to go to the bakery, the butcher, the market, the doctor, the hospital. Is everything in walking distance?
The bakery is 2 minutes walking. The
Dangerous.
doctor's office we go to is like 7 minutes.
Mhm.
The El Corte Inglés is like 8 minutes walking. The Mercadona is like the same distance as El Corte Inglés, so like 7-8 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we have a butcher shop near here.
We do, yeah. We just haven't been into it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Mercado. That's So it's like on the way to Corte Inglés. That's like 5 minutes.
There's tons of shops.
We have a bus stop right in front of our portal, like to our apartment, that could take us to the train station. So we just time it on Google Maps. Oh, it's in 2 minutes. It'll be here. Let's just walk down.
And I love the trains. The first time we were like, God, how do we purchase a ticket? And we're at this machine trying to figure out where we're going, what we're doing. And you know what? A friend of ours that lives in Malaga said, oh, you know what? As long as you know where you're going and what train to take, you don't even have to purchase a ticket. You could swipe your credit card right on the turnstile and it'll open up for you. And you just have to swipe it again on the way out so it knows you've gone into this station. And it's so much more sophisticated than anywhere else.
That's actually a system there in the talks about putting in here in Zaragoza for our buses. Because right now you do have to get a separate bus card, load it with your funds, and then you swipe it on off the bus kind of thing.
And they don't tell you how to get this card.
Yeah.
So we had an app, and that app was so unreliable. And it's like a Zaragoza app. And if you have an iPhone, you can only do a QR code, and it's just so painful to get the QR code right when the bus is moving. The lighting and all that. If you have an Android, you can do NFC, I think it is.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you how to get this card. Nowhere.
Yeah.
We have to send emails to the town hall, and they'll be like, oh, you just fill this out.
It goes to show you how there's not a ton of, immigrants coming in that need these things because the locals they
know it. Right.
Preston has this. He has his, all the kids that are school age have a Ciudadanía bus card.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they ride free till they're 4, I think.
I think so, yeah.
4 or 5. So, yeah.
They'll they'll get it right. They'll do, they'll increase the technology.
We're not
and
in a
everything.
rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're no in rush.
No.
All right. Is there bike culture? Do people bike around
Yeah.
Zaragoza?
Bike and like the little scooters.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
biking here, actually, Zaragoza is considered, I think it has the most bike lanes in all of Spain, if I remember correctly, because they had some large international bike event here decades ago, and they put in all of this infrastructure for bike lanes throughout the whole city. So there is tons of bike paths. We have bike paths on every road. We have bike paths that do like a whole grand tour around the outside of Zaragoza that were used for this event, and they're still there and maintained. So there's a lot of like our friends that moved here around the same time we did, they're involved in biking and bike groups, and they go out together and do that. Running, though, I think would be a bigger thing here than
any
really?
event the city is holding. There's like 8 out of 10 that will be a marathon.
Yep.
Like for
Wow.
New Year's, there was a marathon. There was a firefighter marathon, a Christmas marathon, a Festival del Pilar marathon, anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
They're into marathons. Okay. So great walkability, great transportation. Again, everything that you really need in a community. How about the LGBTQ plus community and safety when it comes to that? I know, you're pretty much low key with a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
But is there any LGBTQ community, so to speak, or is it just integrated, would you say?
I would say it's very much integrated. I did do some, because we don't really go out very much, obviously, with having a 2-year-old. So I did do some Googling to see if there was some gay bars and some clubs. And there actually is. There's a cabaret. There's a few different gay bars. There's a few different gay cafes here. You'll see some of them around town where they'll have a pride flag in the window, but it's not like the US where that was like a safety signal in a way, where you look for it, because everywhere here is a safe place. Like we've never had weird looks or anything like that from anyone, and we always introduce each other as we're spouses, not that we're friends or something like that. Whereas in the US, there was several times, depending on where we are, we're like, oh, we're friends, we're cousins, we're whatever, because there's safety concerns. But here,
depends where you are.
Yeah,
especially the South.
Yeah, the South is not friendly.
No, here very integrated. It's not really.
It's not a thing, right?
Yeah, it's not a concern to where you would go seeking for a pride flag to be like, I'm going to go to that cafe because I know I'm safe there. Like, that's just not really a concern. And Spanish culture in general is very PDA oriented. So you'll see all sorts of people, holding hands, kissing in public, like other gay couples. It's not abnormal.
It's
and
not a thing.
Yeah, no one looks at you out of the ordinary for doing it. It's just part of life.
Yeah, isn't that different? And welcoming.
Very refreshing.
Very
it's
refreshing.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah, I wish it was like that here. Unfortunately, not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are bars if you want it and you feel totally safe as, right? You're integrated into society. And yeah, that's another plus for Zaragoza. Let's get in a little bit into healthcare. So what's your experience? Do you have any experiences yet with healthcare? I hope not, but
we have a few. We have Sanitas. On our visa, we're required to have private health insurance for at least the first year. Really, it's 2 years because the way the system, you have to renew before your year mark technically, but you also can't get on the public system until you've actually been here for a year. So you end up having to do 2 years of private health insurance. But we did have some experience with the public healthcare here because unfortunately our son had to go into the hospital, and our private network didn't have the specialty doctor in Zaragoza that he needed, but the public system did. So they transferred him over to the public, and he was there for 3 days, 2.5 days, had all of his treatments done. Specialty doctor came in, all of his food. I mean, it was phenomenal care. It was bare bones in the sense of like, there wasn't a TV in the room. There was no bed for us staying overnight. Not even a couch. Not even a couch. So it was very bare bones in the public system.
First night I slept on the floor. So
yeah, it was. So you're not going to get luxury with the public system, whereas in the private system they do. They have rooms that have like the beds and things like that. But even so, our bill for everything was 1,200 euros, which was mind blowing to me. And then we submitted it to our private insurance. But absolutely crazy, because in the US, I don't know where
It'd
you
be
could
70,000 maybe.
go. Yeah, at least.
For maybe like one night.
Yeah.
Like one
Right.
night stay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It absolutely is crazy. Yeah, and you can pay that out of pocket for the public system, and after a year, you're entitled to the public system. You still have to pay into it.
Yes. Yeah, it's 60
But it's
euros
like-
a month for, I think if
each.
you're under 65 or something like that, and then it goes up
Yes.
to 120 a month after.
157.
157. Okay.
157 euros a month if after 65. Check
Yeah.
that out.
Which is still very inexpensive. I mean,
and there's no so there's no pre-existing conditions that the public system has as compared to the private system. So if you had pre-existing conditions, it's usually not covered in the private, but it is on the public. So,
exactly.
Being that affordable, I might just have my private just to get into doctors quicker, and having top-notch technology, as well as having the public, and not really, $57 under 65 is really nothing, and they cover everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's our plan. We plan on carrying.
Think about. Yeah. Okay. Are there English-speaking doctors? I don't know if you know that, because Jorge is Spanish speaking, so I don't know if you ran into that issue.
So on our app for Sanitas, they have like the cuadro médico, so like all the doctors are on there. Like if they work for Sanitas, they are required to be on there with all their specialties. Some of them will say like also speak French, Catalan, English, all that.
Yes.
Whenever we've done his appointments,
I try and select an English doctor.
yes, and then we get him on the phone, or him or her, and he starts speaking English, and they're like, "No te entiendo, no te entiendo nada. I don't understand." And I'm like, "But you have it listed," and he's like, or they would be like, "Oh, I don't know why that's on there because I don't speak English."
Yeah, there's very few English-speaking doctors here. Ironically, my dentist speaks like perfect English, and that wasn't even. We didn't even seek out that dentist. I just ended up with that dentist when I went to get my teeth done. But as far as English-speaking doctors, it's far and few between. Zaragoza is very much like, you need to learn Spanish to live here and immigrate.
Yes.
Which it's a great place to learn Spanish, though, because you will be immersed in it whether you want to be or not.
You're pretty much forced,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Like
So
you have better luck just learning French.
French.
Like if you were learning French, you'd have better luck here.
Oh,
than Spanish.
Yeah, you would have better luck finding a French
English,
speaker
I
here,
mean, yeah.
I would say, than an English speaker for doctors and things like that. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, we're all close to the French border, so we get a lot of French tourism come down.
I'm sure they would have translators, or if you were really in a bind, you have Google Translates.
Oh yeah, Google Translate is like my best friend.
Yeah. And you know what I did? I bought, when I went on my Spain trip, I didn't use them really, but I bought earphones from Samsung, Galaxy earphones. And bear with me a moment. And they translate. So if the person is speaking, you hear it in English, but I don't know. It's a little different. See, whenever I do these pointing things, my camera moves. It's like possessed. But anyway, okay, good to know. And is it easy for you guys to get appointments? How long is the wait?
I don't think we've ever waited, at least for the private. We've probably never more than a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only times we've ever waited is for pediatrician appointments, because his pediatrician is the only one that we can go through the app and book it through the app. If not, I have to call and wait for 10, 15 minutes so someone answers the phone. And
so we could get appointments faster if we chose a doctor that we just picked up the phone.
Right.
For like, I could probably go in right now and I could have one first thing in the morning tomorrow with my doctor, with my PCM.
Gotcha.
Like, but now specialty though, that's like weeks out. So like dermatology, endocrinology, all that stuff. It's like it's
a few weeks though.
Yeah, I think
that's not bad. It's not bad at all. So we spoke about language. So, in other words, wrapping the language part up, you really do need to know Spanish in order to live in Zaragoza. You might be able to get by, but would recommend that you either go to an immersion school to learn, or I don't know, the Duolingo is not going to make it.
No, there is some fantastic schools here though. And because Zaragoza is so Spanish dominant versus like your Valencia, your Madrid, there's a lot of immersion schools that have popped up here that are bringing international students to do programs here because they're going to be immersed in it. So we've
Yeah.
seen a lot of like that pop up recently where we've met some international people because they are coming to learn Spanish here. So that's super awesome. So if you want to learn Spanish, like this is a great place to
Great
move.
place to learn. Sounds it. Tell us a little bit about immigration. So, what type of visa did you come to Spain on with?
We're on the non-lucrative, so the NLV.
Okay. So, how did you go about applying for one? Explain to the audience. Is it through the U.S. consulate? Where did you go?
So for the NLV, it's changed a little bit over the last year. So BLS has now taken over for the consulates, and they're kind of like a third party that processes the application. But it
Right.
also still depends on where you live because they're regional jurisdictions, and I guess some of them still use the consulate depending on your state of residence. For us, we were assigned to Washington, D.C., which uses BLS. So we made an appointment, which is so difficult to do. You will have to be on every 5 minutes for weeks at a time for when they finally release an appointment to get an appointment. That's probably the hardest part of the whole process is just getting an appointment. Once you get that, bring all your documents in. They say it's an interview, which had me like, I'm like, oh my God, it's an immigration interview. They're going to grill me. Like, what do I say? Like, I had like a whole like script of like, I'm this great person and I just want to come and live in your country.
I don't think we spoke like 10 words.
It should be called paperwork drop off because that's literally it was, do you have your paperwork? Flip. Okay, we'll let you know. And that was it. It was insanely easy. And we had our passports back with a visa in 11 days. Weeks, yeah, it was like 11 days.
Wow. That's really quick. So I understand the getting the appointment part is like the worst part.
Yeah.
I have a friend that the only time they opened up appointments in LA was like 5 a.m. So you had to like be on the website at 5 a.m. and try to find an opening. And that it like happens once a month.
Yep.
So
for us, I think it was 3 a.m. when they populated. And it was worse for us because we had to get 3 separate appointments. Because each person has to have their own. So it's like I'm like, wake up, like get your phone on. There's appointments, like you need to do this. And because it's tough. And once they're gone, they're gone. And so it's like if
that's it, you're locked out for another month.
Yeah. If I got an appointment and he didn't, like, well, okay.
That's what happened to my friends. There were 2 of them, spouses. And one got an appointment and they were locked out right after that appointment. So they had to go to that appointment and then come back for another appointment for the other one. So,
yeah. And when you're traveling, because I mean, if you're not located in LA or in DC, like for us, DC is like a 9-hour drive.
Oh, yeah.
So we were like,
it was 5 hours.
It is with traffic. Are you kidding me? That's a 9-hour drive.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not easy. But you pretty much, you got your visas really quickly.
Yeah, we were very lucky. And we applied during student rush. So like we were told student visas have priority, expect it to be at least a month, maybe 2 months. And then it was like, actually, we didn't even get a notification. We were supposed to get a notification via text that they were ready for pickup or dispatch. And I happened to ask a question, emailed BLS, which also BLS doesn't email you back. So I'm surprised they emailed me back at all. But I asked them a question about, could we get our passports? Because we were thinking about traveling. And they were like, well, your passport's ready for pickup. So yeah, you can get your passport. And I was like, what? It's ready? And so I was like, well, I guess I'm going to drive up there and pick them up. And yeah, it was bizarre.
Wow. So did you do it yourselves or did you hire a relocation expert to do everything?
I did all the paperwork.
Wow. give you credit.
Thank you. It actually wasn't that bad. I mean, if you really just are a person that is detail oriented
Right.
and can follow the checklist, it only gets complicated, I think, when you have multiple parties involved. Like for us having our son, there was a lot of extra documentation we had to put because he's a minor and he's a dependent. But I mean, if you're just a single individual applying for it, it is so easy to apply for. It's more complicated for sure when it's a family unit.
Yeah, I'm sure they pretty much tell you, okay, you need this, you need bank statements, you need this. You have to prove that you have the income and you won't be a burden to the Spanish society.
Exactly. Yeah, as long as you have the documents, it's very simple. I think the complication comes in when there's miscommunications on what documents are actually needed because some of the BLS websites during this like turnover period, they weren't updating documents. So some people were showing up with old documents that the consulate said they wanted, and BLS was like, no, we don't use that now. So there was a weird like period of time where I think things were kind of not great, but we got lucky. I mean, we didn't have any issues.
Let's talk a little bit about lifestyle and daily living. What are your favorite things to do on a weekend? And tell me a little bit about the food scene, one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah, so I mean, on the weekends, we really walking up to the Pilar, there's always something going on in this town. It doesn't matter what weekend. There's farmers markets, there's festivals, there's antique shows, there's always something to do here. So sometimes there's like, we don't know what's going on. And we're like, we'll just walk up to the Pilar and there's a fashion show going on with like a whole red carpet and a catwalk. And we're like, okay, we'll watch that today. Like, I mean, there's always something here. We walked up one day, having no idea there was a whole Renaissance festival with a carnival there and giant like hog legs that you could, take off. I mean, it was just insane. And that's just how it's been. We just kind of walk and see what's going on and join in whatever it is. Or now that we have a car, we'll take off and go up into the mountains and do something in the mountains too.
Awesome. So what kind of restaurants? Tapas or regular? I mean, what types? Is there international food as well?
There is. There's everything here except for Puerto Rican food. There's no Puerto Rican food here.
Jorge.
Yeah, which is sad because I love Puerto Rican food too. But I mean, there's a little bit of everything here. There's definitely a lot of different international foods.
Yeah, we have like Venezuelan, Colombian,
Korean.
We only have one Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
which is a little sad. What else? We have Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Italian.
There's everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you have your fusion restaurants. Like we have one up the street called Smooth Gastrobar, and they have on their menu they have like tapas or aperitivos, Europa, Asia, America. Like it's and the food is delicious. Like everywhere we go, it's
we haven't
delicious.
had really any bad food. Like food here is just okay. Yeah, Vips, he says, which I agree.
What is that?
I would say that is the Spanish Denny's.
Chili's.
Or Chili's. Yeah, it's not great food.
We didn't know our first time in Madrid, and we were like, well, we're hungry. Let's eat there. Your food was okay, and Emily's food was okay. I ordered some pasta, and I ordered grease with a side of pasta. So it was funny. That's the only bad experience I've had with food. And we've been here almost a year now. So,
but tapas are fantastic and super popular. We have like kind of an alley district. It's called El Tubo. And if you go down there at night, that is the place to be. It's all little tapas and cafes and bars, and you can pop between them. And everyone goes down there at night and just kind of walks around and gets their food and their drinks. And
my favorite bar is down there.
Yep, his favorite bar, El Federal.
So, how about arts and culture? Is there anything? I know Spaniards love festivals, but what type of arts and culture do they have? Do they have theater or do they have movies?
We have
stuff like that.
Everything. I mean, we have a theater here. Frozen was here, what is it called in Spanish?
La Reina de Nieve. So the snow queen, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Tarzan was here.
So Broadway style musicals, we have a theater that they come to. We don't get the super big name ones like Wicked or Mamma Mia. I guess we did have Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia was here.
But Wicked,
like the Book of Mormon and I don't know what other ones were here.
Yeah.
The Lion King.
Lion
The
King.
Lion King is huge.
And it's all in Spanish, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the thing. It is
Yep.
all in Spanish. The movie theaters,
It'll be like if
It's so
you are
hard.
lucky if you get a VOS, which VOS stands for Versión Original Subtítulos Español. So like original version, subtitle Spanish.
Right.
You would be lucky if you find a movie theater that offers that. Only
Wow.
one does it here in Zaragoza. And it's like there's only one showing, the last one. At the
Yeah,
night.
I don't know how I would react to not knowing Spanish, going to a theater in Spanish. You know, you kind of understand what's going on, but I'd really like to understand what the hell they're saying.
Even me, when I've been to the theater here, I mean, it's the Castellano dub, and I mean, it's just very different from Latin American Spanish. So like, even I'm like, I hope it's a good dub. I hope it's a good dub.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we have tons of that. And we also have Porto Venezia, which is actually the largest mall in the entire EU.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so Zaragoza could claim that they have that. It's a beautiful outdoor mall with shopping. That's where our bowling alley is. That's where movie theaters are. They have
Restaurants, like a lot of restaurants, shopping. They have a huge Corte Inglés there, not as big as the one in Madrid, but that's besides the point. Primark, like all of the Spanish clothing stores, Bershka.
Oh, I went to a Primark when I was there.
They're big here.
Yes.
Yeah, they're huge. But
Yeah.
Porto Venezia is great because I mean, there's a lot of good food there. That's where your entertainment is as well. So they have huge parks built into it for the kids and giant slides, and there's a lake in the middle of it. So like you can rent all those little
paddle boats that you see in like Central Park in New York, I think.
Yeah.
And then in the winter they drain a little bit and they freeze it so you can ice skate.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So they really thought of everything and have everything that you really would want in a big city, and it's the fourth biggest city. So yeah, it makes sense. So if someone loves Barcelona or Madrid, would they love or would they hate Zaragoza?
I think it depends on why they like Barcelona or Madrid. If they like it because it's a very fast-paced, always on the move, can rely on English. Like if those are the reasons for why you really like Barcelona or Madrid, you're not going to like Zaragoza, because Zaragoza, you're going to have to learn Spanish.
It's like the opposite.
Yeah, it's very much the opposite. But if you like Madrid because it's friendly people and good food and that type of thing, then Zaragoza is the same in that way. Very friendly people, delicious food. The cost of living is lower than Madrid for sure. So if you want a low cost of living, Zaragoza is great.
I love Madrid.
He loves Madrid. He would live in Madrid.
If I could afford it.
I would never live in Madrid.
Been there for 2 days on our way home before our trip home. And unfortunately, it was raining, but it's a huge city. It reminds me a little bit of like New York.
Yep.
It just has everything. It's so cosmopolitan.
And that's why I don't like
love it. It's just the shopping scene is huge. The Salamanca neighborhood is my favorite neighborhood.
He was a millionaire in a prior life.
I love that. What is El Prado, the museum El Prado? I love the museum.
I went there.
Retiro. I mean, there's other parks to see, but El Retiro is just iconic.
Yeah. I went to the Prado and was like, we can't see this whole thing.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It was huge.
And then the churros, Sanguines. Every time we go, we have to have. I know that's like very touristy, but like we have to have Sanguines churros.
But my thing is, we can live in Zaragoza
and take a train
for half the price
and visit
an hour and come back the same day, and I don't have to pay 4,000 euros a month. So we don't need to live there.
I'm with you, Chad. I know you're, as far as retirement, when we say retirement, we think of somebody as old as me. But do you think a person retiring from the U.S. to Zaragoza would enjoy retirement there? Again, if they were looking for that type of lifestyle.
I think so, because we're actually the abnormal ones here in a lot of ways. Zaragoza has a much older population. I mean, we do have a university, but most Spaniards that are coming up and being raised here, they're going to Madrid, they're going to Barcelona, they're leaving Zaragoza. So as far as like the population, we're much younger than the average population here. So if you want to retire, relax, and have an easy ability to make friends, like it's so easy for the older population of retirees because that's the population here.
That's what's here. That's the
Most of them
demographic.
are retired, either whether they're Spanish retired or immigrant retired. They're retired. It's a lot of retirees here in general. I mean, anywhere you go outside, I love it. And you just walk in the parks and you have the abuelas and the abuelos just sitting with them. They're gossiping over their coffee in the park.
Grandma
Like
and
that's,
grandpa.
yeah, that's just normal life here. Like you walk around and they're all just chit-chatting in cafes because they're not working because they're retired. So that's more, I would say, it'd probably be easier for the average retiree aged person to immigrate here because you don't have that large influx of the younger population like you do in Madrid or Barcelona, but then you also have the language thing. So
Right. And I know from speaking with other people that Spain as a whole, as a government, really takes care of the elderly, the senior population as well. So very good. Pros and cons. So the biggest pro of retiring in Zaragoza would be what, do you think?
I would say cost of living and just the overall vibe. I mean, if you want something that is relaxed, laid back, you can just walk around, not have to worry about a car, anything like that. Zaragoza is great because you can get anywhere and it's an easy spot to jump off to other locations. I mean, we can be to Tarragona in about an hour and a half, 2 hours and be on the beach, and a locals beach, not, a big touristy beach too, which is nice. So I'd say that's a pro.
So how about the biggest trade-offs or annoyances that our listeners should know about? What would that be?
I would say the language barrier, if you have no Spanish background and you're not willing to put yourself out there and try, because I think that's a big key to learning Spanish and immersion is you have to be you're gonna mess it up. You're gonna make mistakes, and the locals are lovely about it and they don't have issues with you making mistakes. But I think a lot of people are self-conscious about making mistakes. And if you're that person, you're gonna really struggle here because you're gonna end up just burrowing into your apartment and not enjoying all the amazing things that make Zaragoza Zaragoza. And then the other issue that I have is we don't have an actual international airport. We do. It has a couple flights a week and they're outrageously expensive
To Paris.
Okay.
We have to go to Madrid or Barcelona, which yes, it's only an hour train ride, but it's an hour train ride and then
Like
it's
30, 40-minute
taxi. You've got to be at the airport 2-3 hours early.
It's a hassle.
It adds a travel day, really.
But the pro that comes with that is we get to stay the night before.
There you go. There's always a positive, always a bright side.
It's a positive for him because it's not his wallet.
So what's the one thing that you wish you'd known before moving?
I would say I knew about it a little bit, but I think until you experience it, it's not something you can really truly know. And that's Spanish bureaucracy.
I knew about that.
Well, yeah, you're from Puerto Rico. You understand Spanish bureaucracy. It's the same. But I mean, this isn't a Zaragoza problem, though. Like, this isn't something unique. This is like all of Spain in general. But just getting anything done. I mean, it's going to take you 3-4 appointments and 20,000 documents in your firstborn child. Like, it's a hassle. And one person tells you need this form, and the next person tells you, no, you don't need that one. You actually need this one.
And then the next one will be like, you don't need any of those.
Right.
We ran into
Everybody's
that
different.
times. Yep. So it's just very hard to like get anything done, whether it's your driver's license. Like getting your driver's license here that's a whole nother level of disaster. I mean, it's so tough.
Have you gotten yours?
I did.
You drive.
I got mine. He's failed the exam multiple times.
I've heard that it's not easy.
It's memory. You have to memorize it. And I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah, it's very tough. And just the paperwork aspect of it is very tough and it's very costly. So I think those are things that I'm like, I wish I would have known, like I knew about it, but until you're experiencing it, you're like, oh my God, this really impacts like my day because I gotta wait in an appointment for hours on end and then I gotta run back to the house and get this other piece of paper. And so, but I mean, those are all things where it's like once you do them, you're done with it. You
Right.
you don't have to do them again. But in the beginning, it's almost like a rat race because you land and you're like, I got to get a Padrone, I got to get my TIE, I got to get all of these things done. But in order to do any of those things, I need a bank account and I have to pay the TASA, but I can't open a bank account without a TIE. Like there's just all of this like bizarre.
And there's a TIE and an NIE and
yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. But once it was done, now it's kind of like not a big deal.
It's
but
behind you.
Yeah, I think I would say I wish someone would have prepared my brain a little bit more for how frustrating that first month was going to be with just all of the bureaucratic stuff here.
Oh, I see you pulled out your hair.
Yeah, it's gone. I mean, this is thanks to the U.S. military, but
I still have.
So, you have great hair.
Yeah,
Thank you.
isn't that nice?
So, in wrapping up, if someone's listening, and I hope a lot of people are going to be listening and considering Zaragoza, what's your simple message to them?
I would say just do it. If you're considering it, I mean, that's what we did. We said, let's just do it. The worst case scenario is you get here and you hate it. And then it just becomes a great landing pad to jump off and find all of these other places because it's centrally located. I mean, that was our plan. We said, if we get here and we don't like it, we'll be here for a year. And then we'll use that year. We'll use that year to explore all of these other locations because Zaragoza is just such a great location to jump to for weekend trips or day trips to other towns to find something where we would feel like was a better fit. But the opposite happened. We ended up absolutely falling in love with Zaragoza and we have no plans to leave. So I would say just do it. If you're considering it, do it. You'll find your happy place somewhere in Spain.
No Madrid for me.
No Madrid.
Oh, he's gonna want to visit.
Oh, we visit
I love
Madrid.
A lot.
Yeah, all the time.
He's gonna want to go to Madrid a lot.
I feel bad asking him, like, can I spend a day in Madrid and I just come back like late at night? I just feel bad asking for that.
We're going next week.
I know. We're going for 2 days.
We go to Madrid at least once a month. Like we go and we do the whole Madrid scene, and
then we're going to Toledo.
Yeah.
So we went to Segovia, and Segovia is a beautiful, beautiful city. So, and I've read and seen pictures of Toledo, and it's just beautiful, astonishingly Roman. Roman architecture. Just the history is, it's just great.
But these are all
things.
Send me a postcard. Send your postcard.
Yeah.
Send me a postcard. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. We really do appreciate it. And do you have any other words to share?
No, you have no words of wisdom? No?
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Wait.
Okay.
Get influenced by buying what shoes are comfortable. Go with your heart. Do not buy shoes that are popular because, they're so comfortable for walking. They're not. Just buy a good pair of shoes because you will need them.
You'll need them.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of walking.
Yep.
I have my New Balances. They are like grandfather shoes, but I do not complain about them. My feet are,
comfy.
I'm walking in like a Porsche or something. I don't know what a good car is.
Yep. Very important when everything is walkable. Good advice. Great advice. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and we will talk soon. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you
for having us.
You're very welcome. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.